About 2 months ago, I started posting bi-weekly articles to a brand new Substack page. Since then, I've learned a ton about the platform and became privy to some expert advice. So in this video, I'm going to break down how things are going, my stats, earnings, and a handful of tips about growing on Substack from perhaps the most successful writer on the internet. Let's get into it. I was a little bit wary about making this video because truthfully, my Substack launch didn't go as well as I had hoped. But in the name of transparency, I feel sharing my genuine experience will be most helpful to you. So I decided to make it anyway. And the best way I can share my experience is to, well, start at the beginning. If you've seen any of my past videos, you know that I've been writing on a platform called Medium for the better part of the last 5 years. And in the past year or so, as Medium has added more paywalls to their stories, drastically reducing their user base and subsequent earnings for writers, I've seen many of my peers move their work from Medium to Substack. Naturally, I got curious and decided to try it out for myself. In the past, I always told myself that I didn't want to spend a lot of time writing about writing because I feel it holds me back from exploring new topics. But since I already make a lot of content on how to monetize your writing on this channel, I figured adding in a newsletter would be a great pairing. So I created Writer's Hub as a way to dive deeper into the content I post on YouTube and build a foundation of consistent earnings coming from subscriptions, rather than needing to pump out weekly content to make money. My initial thought was to paywall everything. I figured all the content I make here on YouTube is free, and since I'll be spending extra time writing these articles, it makes sense to have a paid element to my business. And since I'm not a huge fan of online courses, a newsletter felt like a fitting way to share more in-depth content in real time. I estimated with each subscription costing $5, I would need around 200 paid members to earn what I generally do on Medium. With those extra earnings, I would have more time to explore more creative ways to make money as a writer and create better content for YouTube. I had an existing email list of around 1,600 people, so I estimated I could convert around 1 to 2%, giving me a base of around 20 to 25 paid subscribers to start, and then slowly scale to 200 over the next couple of months. At least, this is what I thought. As we've all experienced in life, things don't always go according to plan. And I've learned that Substack is a lot more nuanced than I had originally thought. So another reason why I wanted to start a Substack page is because I figured it would be less time consuming than writing on Medium. On average, I spend about 6 to 8 hours per week writing just one article on Medium, not to mention about an hour engaging with other profiles and the time spent coming up with ways to get more clicks and extend my read time. Substack seemed like a more streamlined relationship between myself and my readers. Instead of having to write articles that would feed the algorithm to get clicks, I could write the best quality content I can and send it out to my readers directly. Well, what I learned is Substack and Medium have a lot more in common than I thought. In the next couple of months, Substack will be coming out with its own Discover page, and currently the home feed for users is much like a Twitter feed. Unfortunately, a lot of the advice I read online about how to grow on Substack came from mutual engagement or posting notes, which are two things I was hoping to avoid. Luckily, I stumbled upon some expert advice from one of the internet's biggest writers that put me at ease. But before we get into that, let me show you my stats, as I know that's what a lot of you came here to see. So as I mentioned, and as you can see here, I started this page out by importing my email list of around 1,600 subscribers from my Gumroad and Medium accounts, which I had been building up over the past 2 years or so. Once I imported these subscribers, I started posting articles every 2 weeks. Initially, I experimented with notes, but truthfully, I didn't like them. At this point in my life, I want to focus on longer forms of content, and I find it draining to cut up my thoughts into tweet-like posts. In addition, I also chose not to go out and find profiles to engage with because I want to spend more time creating quality content here on YouTube. And in terms of promotion, I've only really used YouTube. So after approximately 60 days on the platform, you can see here my total free and paid subscribers. Although it's not quite where I'd like it to be, I have to remind myself that there was once a time, quite recently, when the idea of anyone paying to become a subscriber of anything I do felt unattainable. So I am thankful for everyone who has subscribed. And after receiving some expert advice, everything was kind of put into perspective, and I addressed many of the things I had been doing wrong. So I don't know exactly how this happened, but a few weeks ago, one of the biggest writers on the internet reached out to me via email to ask how things were going on Medium, YouTube, and Substack. I won't reveal their name as it still feels serendipitous to be connected to them at all, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable messaging me in the future. But during our conversation, I was able to ask some questions regarding Substack, and since they have a Substack newsletter with over 100,000 subscribers and literally millions of followers across all platforms, I'm very thankful to have been able to get their advice. As I mentioned, I had originally wanted to make my newsletter completely paywall. This was mainly so I didn't have to worry as much about earnings and I could just concentrate on making great content. But they brought up a great point, which is that people need to be able to see what they're paying for. And they recommended writing 1 free post for every paid post, even 2 or 3 free to every 1 paid. Regarding notes, I had asked if it was possible to schedule them ahead of time, as I much prefer to make content in batches and schedule it out to free my mind up for more creative work. But unless you hire someone to post them for you, it seems there is no real way around posting notes in real time. So if you want to use notes as a part of your growth strategy, you pretty much have to make it a daily or multi-weekly occurrence. Also, they share that notes are crucial for growth and you really should be taking advantage of them. And finally, they gave me some validation regarding whether or not I should be spreading engagement on other profiles to attract new readers, saying that I'm better off to focus my attention on writing quality content as opposed to growth hacking. That has been my experience on Substack thus far. I will continue to keep you posted as I continue writing on the platform. If there's anything in particular you would like to see, leave those suggestions in the comments. And if you would like to support me, this channel, or just learn new ways of how to monetize your writing, I'd love for you to join Writers Hub. I'll add the link in the pinned comment as well as the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who may enjoy it as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.